सर मेरी आवाज आ रही है? थैंक यू सर। We are audible completely. हेलो, अभी ठीक है ना? अम्मी आ रही हैं? अब सबको अलाउ कर दो। सर हेलो,
हाँ,
गुड आफ्टरनून सर।
good afternoon.
Sir, how are you?
Yeah, fine.
Sir, give me 5 minutes. We will start within 5 minutes, okay?
Okay, fine. Sure.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Bhavna Sharma, Assistant Professor. On the behalf of JL Bajaj Institute of Management, once again, welcomes our esteemed resource person, Dr. Dhaval Mehta Sir, Professor DBIM, Veer Narmad, South Gujarat University, Surat, Honorable Dean Ma'am, all the participants on the 5th day of 5 days online faculty development program on systematic literature review. And today's topic is bibliometric analysis using BOS Viewer. With these words, I request our esteemed resource person to start with the session. Please, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhavna ma'am. All of them have joined?
Yes, sir.
Just 1 minute. Huh? Yeah, good afternoon. Is PPT visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay, so we'll start the bibliometric analysis and we'll be using 2 softwares to understand this, what actually this bibliometric analysis is. It's a quite matter of surprise that bibliometric is 100 years old. The first person to talk about this was Eugene Gaffin, who had done a systematic evaluations of papers way back in 1950s. And this has blossomed into a vast collection of data. Now, why this was necessary? Let's try to understand. From 1920s, the volume of publication increased to a large extent. This paper inflation which we are talking about, which we see at present in India, the same inflation happened in European countries in 1920s, 100 years before. As a method to evaluate the scientific achievements of people and institutions, bibliometric science was introduced. The paper publication became a child of mass-produced science, which emerged after the second volume. As the number of scientists increased, the fragmentation of the disciplines and therefore also the demand for specialized publication organs, journals, book series, and conferences skyrocketed. I hope you all are experiencing the same thing after COVID in India also. And so it was merely a question of time before that there was a need to record and evaluate the written output of the scientists and their institutions. So what we are seeing that in most of the cases now we require a Scopus publication or Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 journal, the publication in these journals. So this is basically to check the quality of the publication, and bibliometric analysis serve this purpose. First of all, bibliometric measures the number of papers published by an individual. Am I audible? Please pay attention to each and every slide, because all these things which I'm discussing in the theory, they are going to be generated in the output, right? So please say yes or no. Are you listening? Right? Small yes from your side, nothing more. Are you listening? Right. Pay attention. Okay. I'll give you the hint also that how we can increase the citation, how we can go for more networking, right? Okay, let's proceed further. This is the easiest part as it does not require any suppositions and steals direct information, such that the scientist has published 200 papers. Say, for example, if I go with the first approach, that how many papers an individual has published, then a professor who has published 200 papers and 5 books, I'll consider that the quality is good. But attempting to gauge the quality and significance of the articles and book, this is a trickier business. So paper publication became the trickier business. So the another approach which was which was necessary to evaluate, or rather to judge the quality of the publication, as well as I am talking about two parts, to judge the quality about the papers as well as the person. So a concept of citation emerged. Publication that is cited frequently in other publication is an important publication, right? It's just like a reference of word reference. See, we are having word of mouth, no? What we're having word of mouth, that you please attend the lecture of this professor. It is very interesting. So that is a word of mouth. Now, paper cannot have a word of mouth, and then they came out with the concept of citation, that please refer this paper. It is a good paper. At least you should refer this paper in this discipline. So the citation concept emerged. The underlying theory of simple correlation between publications and citations is far from over. New methods have emerged. And we are giving the new names to it. Some of the methods which have came up is alt matrix, not bibliometrics, alt matrix. What these are, we will see later on. Then comes the usage metric. For instance, which is the bibliometric. This usage matrix is the advanced approach of bibliometrics. So usage metric, for instance, uses a fundamentally different approach to classical citation bibliometric and is no longer based on the fundamental theory, right? So here we are talking about how frequently the article was used, or how frequently the article was issued in the library. So usage metrics. Lib metrics, on the other hand, establish a connection between the importance of the scientific paper or book and its availability or usage in library, such as by measuring how often it is procured from the library. Right? Bibliometric builds the pressure. Now, the appointments which are being done in India also, they are on the basis of what is your H index, how many paper publications you have done, so that we get a proper quality of the professor. So as the quantification of academic output, bibliometric is a result of the pressure to justify in science and research, which initially defines pure science in Aristotelian sense as knowledge for the sake of knowledge. As the number of scientists increase, the number of doctoral students and postdoc also balloon. Due to this, what this happened is that this publication became, you can say paper publication became a business, and it became the mass university in 1970s. This means that any full professor appointed can do research in any area. They can choose any topic, and they can become PhD, as well as they can produce the doctoral students in that area. Now, to gauge this, to keep a check on this, the concept of bibliometric analysis was introduced, so that the proper citation has to be done, that in this area, which are the few authors or which are the few researchers who have worked. So a check was necessary. Now, why this check has been kept? We are responsible to the taxpayer who are paying to the country, and the country is funding for the research, and that's the reason the bibliometric analysis is necessary. Bibliometric analysis puts the check on the appointment so that the quality of the professor is maintained. If the quality of the professor is maintained, naturally, the outcome in the form of the students will be more valuable to the society. The first bibliometric analysis stemmed from Cole and Earls. In 1970, the authors studied which books on human anatomy had been published between 1550 and 1860. Right? Now comes the Bradford's Law, the first law. Please be with me. Bradford's Law. Are you listening? Say yes or no. Are you listening? Are you listening? Only 2 yes. I want more yes. Okay. Now this Bradford's Law will also be generated in the output. Okay, it will be generated in the output. Remember, what this law is, we'll have to understand. Gross and gross saw some distribution related in many of the discipline, and they give the name as Bradford's. Is it visible to all of?
Yeah,
Can you see this side?
yes, sir.
Okay. In any discipline, there will be the core journals, then zone 2 and zone 3. What Bradford had defined is that there will be such sources or 3 such journals, which are core journals in that area, where you will get the majority of the article. For example, you're working on entrepreneurship, and definitely there will be some journals specific to entrepreneurship, and therefore majority of the articles will be here. Then, if I want to increase 130 articles, again, if I want to go beyond these 3 sources, then to have an equal 130 articles, I will have to refer 9 sources. 9 sources in the sense that if I move out of the core, the other journals will not be emphasizing more on entrepreneurship, right? So they must be publishing one article in 2-3 months, and that's the reason now the 9 sources will have 130 articles. It is quite likely possible that for searching for remaining 130 articles, I will have to refer 27 sources. Now, what is a ratio what is the ratio which has developed is 3:9:27, 1:3:9, right? And each field, each discipline can have different distribution. See the distribution here. Zone 1, which is the core, zone 2, zone 3, right? According to the Bradford's law, if I go according to the Bradford's law, number of journals, 13 journals were such where I got the core 61, zone 2, 411, zone 3. To get the equal number of articles, I had to refer this way. And therefore, the ratio is 1:25, right? You will get this ratio in any discipline. Let's proceed further. Anybody having a doubt? I can give you another example also. See here on your right hand side. Just a minute. 9 journals, right? How many articles? 429 articles, right? Then 5, I had to refer 59 journals to reach again to 499 articles. And more or less for 404 articles, I had to go refer 258 journals. Okay. So that's the way. So 9, right? So 5 into 9, 45 journals. So the ratio will be again 1/3. Or rather, what you can do is 9:59:258. If you calculate its ratio and proportion, you will get in what manner I'll get the publication. So he defined this thing as 1 to the power n to the power n square. There will be one source, right? Now, if there are 5 sources, you take its square, 25 sources. So you have to refer in that way, or rather the publication will happen in that way only. Let's proceed further. Now, creating the database, Eugene Garfield created the database, and on that basis, whatever which we are saying, it was the brainchild of Eugene Garfield. But you read the last line. All of you read the last line. these are the words which have been taken from his original book, which is written on bibliometric analysis, where the software has not been discussed. This is the original book. To this day, Garfield rejects the use of his indicator, the indicators made by him, to evaluate the people and institutions, especially the most famous one, the journal impact factor. So you cannot evaluate the people on just on the basis of H factor or on the basis of citations, right? This is one of the method, but you cannot consider this method as the absolute method. The example to this is very recent example to this is just a minute. I'm having it. See this, John F. Clauser. Okay, I'll discuss this later on. The first statistics which is generated is the citation rate. If the researcher has written 550 papers and received 1,000 citations from 1990 to 2010, his or her citation rate is 20. So 1,000 citations and 50 papers, right? So this is a citation rate. This particular thing is known as author's productivity. Please write down on one page what it is known as. Please write down. It is known as author's productivity. Please write it down. The citation rate in the software is known as author's productivity, right? Let's proceed further. Now, frequently, authors cite themselves. Now, many academicians understood that the citation is the whole ball game, and therefore it is necessary that we should increase the citation, and therefore they started doing the self-citation. Self-citation business was started. Now, to keep the check on it, the self-citation was not appreciated. They started doing the cross-citation. What is a cross-citation? That they will make a team. They will make a team. You cite my papers, I will cite your papers, or your research scholars will cite my paper. So that way, a network was developed. Now, we cannot say anything about this network. Definitely, the people can do, we can build this network. And if you will see this analysis which we will be doing today, you will come to know that the network is necessary. Then only your citation rate will increase, and then only your H index will increase. So I will give you the tips also to how to increase your H index as well as the citation rate. Be with me. Okay. The number of, this is fine. Now the first thing on the basis of which we evaluate the researcher's contribution is the H index, which was developed by George E. Hirsch. Right. Now, on what basis it was? The H index is initially a combination of number of publications and the citation frequency. Now, how it is calculated? Can you see this slide? Number of citations and H index is. Let's say yes or no, because I want to explain it. How your H index is increasing. Can you see the slide? Say yes or no. Okay. How many of you have experienced this? That their H index is not changing? Please say yes in the chat box. How many of you have experienced that their H index never changes? The H index remains as it is. Anybody who has experienced this? Because you don't know the science of it, how it is working. Anybody who still wants to reply how their H index is working? Right. See. Pay attention. Say, for example, you have published 8 papers. You have published 8 papers, right? For example, now arrange these papers in the decreasing order. So the first paper got 32 citations, second paper got 25 citations, third 21. The row in which this number the H index is greater than number of citations is your H index. How? Let's see. The first row, 1 is less than 32. So your H index is not 1. 2 is less than 25. So your H index is not 2. 3 is less than 21. No. 4 is less than 13. No. 5 is less than 7. No. 6 is greater than 5. Stop. This means that your H index is 6, right? This means that your H index, your H index is 5. You have to see one row above it. 6 is greater than 5. Stop here, and your H index is one row above it. 5. Right? Who has not understood this, please? Who has not understood this mathematics? Okay, I'll explain again. The row in which the H index is greater, this number is greater than number of citations, you have to stop there and you have to see one row above it. That is your H index. Let's take one more example, real life example. Okay, we will try to run it here. One. Now you have published one paper in a good quality journal and your citation rate is increasing. What is your H index? What is your H index? One paper. What is your H index now? Please write the answer. What is your H index right now? How to? No, it is only 1. It will remain 1 only. Right? It will remain 1 only. Even if you get even if you get 300 citations, then also your H index remains same. Okay. Now see, you have published second paper, right? You have published second paper, and here also you got the citations 250. Then also your H index remains 1 only, right? Now just assume that you got one citation here, that 2 is greater than 1. Then also your citation is 1 only, right? When you will be able to leverage this, let's say second paper 250, third paper citation is 100, fourth paper the citation is 50, fifth paper the citation is 10, sixth paper the citation is 5. Now this is the point. Just a minute. So this is the row in which this number is greater than this. So you have to go one row above it, and therefore your H index is 5. Okay, is it clear now? Is it clear? Anybody who is still having a confusion about this? Right? Now, what is a take home of this? What you have learned from this? Tell me, what is the thing which you have learned from this? That you will have to publish at least 6 or 7 research papers so that your citation, so that your H index increases. It is a very slow process. it will at least take 2-3 years, right, to get a proper citation. So this is a free tip by me. At least write 10 papers. Your H index will do miracles over span of time. But again, the question is how to increase the citation rate, right? How to increase the citation rate? It is not a social digital marketing that I can increase the citations. How to increase the citation? So what do you have to do? It is just like somebody is having good citations, or rather there is a professor who is having a good citations or whose visibility is there in the science. So request him or her to write the paper with you, right? So that his network will be able to, you will be able to leverage on his or her network. There is nothing wrong from this platform. I'm trying to help each and every researcher. There is nothing wrong in it. You associate with some renowned professors to write the paper with him so that his network will be very useful to increase the citations of your paper. Once the citations will increase, your H index will go automatically, it will go up. Is it clear? Shall I proceed further? Say yes or no. Have you understood this? Shall I proceed further? Okay. However, a scientist's H index is influenced by the length of his or her career, not the publication or citation quantity. It is presumed that the H index and the duration of career are proportionate to each other. I have already explained. It will take some time for your H index to increase. A scientist who has an H score of 20 after 20 years can be regarded as a successful scientist. Those with H scores of approximately 40 after 20 years are found at elite university, renowned research centers. One of the biggest weaknesses of index is the fact that only rough statements can be made about the academic significance of two scientists with similar H score, right? But you cannot judge a person's contribution just by H score. And the very recent example is John Clauser. See his H index. It is the lowest at present in terms of all those Nobel laureates who have received the Nobel Prize. But still, his contribution was so nice that he has been awarded with the Nobel. And therefore, H index is not the sole criteria for deciding the person's academic contribution. Okay, let's proceed further. The real value of the researcher is the real impact of his research, not his citation. Quality matters, not the quantity. H index is not an indicative measure of quality or impact. Numbers are just numbers. We can improve our H index as Google Scholar and ResearchGate shows different H score. Yes, I agree. There is a hope in fixing this issue in the research community. Now comes the impact factor. Impact factor is related to the journal, right? H index is related to the person. The statistics which will be generated in the bibliometrics, they are on the basis of three things. One, person. Second, the institute. And third, the country. Okay. Third, the country. So the impact factor is related to the journal. Now, how we are giving the impact factor? As citations can only ever be measured with a delay of around 2 years, the journal impact factor is defined as the total citations in the 2 years divided by all the articles in the journal in previous 2 years. Now, why that 2 years have already been taken? This is the age-old practice which Eugene Garfield has followed, and as he was not having a large database, only 2 years was available, and that's the reason this practice has now, you can say this tradition has become now the practice that whenever we want to calculate the impact factor, we will consider the records of last 2 years only. But I am not able to understand that how some journals are claiming the impact factor 12, 13, 14, I don't know, but still. Now, the correlation between the impact of an individual work and the journal impact factor of the publication journal is usually very, very low. The impact factor is a tool for determining journal quality, of course. If your library is having you can say limited funds, so to keep the check that how many journals we should order. The impact factor serves you as a parameter that these journals are good quality journals. The impact factor is not a tool for determining the quality of an individual article. The impact factor is not a tool for assessing the quality of an individual scientist. The impact factor is not a tool for assessing the quality of research group if it has been published fewer than 100 papers in 2 years. The quality of an article, scientist, or a group of researcher is measurable via citation analysis only. See, some of the journals in physics area, they are having the impact factor 36, right? Now, every year, the database which are being uploaded are, there are 3 databases. One is Web of Science, Scopus, and PubMed. All those who are coming from medicine science, they are using PubMed. The good news is the PubMed is completely free. PubMed can be accessed freely. Newer types of bibliometric analysis are emerging, which we have already discussed. So we will start analyzing the data in BiblioShiny, and then we will see WAS viewers. Okay, all of you get ready. I'm attaching one database here. Again, the same problem. Yeah, Preeti ma'am, I'm sending. Preeti ma'am, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
I already said. Okay. Okay, sir, please.
I'm sharing a data set.
Okay, sir.
Please share with them.
Sure, sir.
I'm again sharing a screen with you. So we'll write a very simple code. The code is not so complicated, right? All of you, please complete the installation of bibliometric analysis. So go in tools, install package, make sure that your internet connection is on, write down bibliometrics, and press install. Complete this part. Once the installation is done, write down done in the chat box. Go in tools, install packages, activate bibliometrics, this one, and press install. Done. Now you activate its library bibliometrics, right? It should not give any error. This is a warning message. It is fine. This is a warning message. It is fine. So you will have to run library. I am sending the code to you. Activate the BiblioShiny by running this command. Now, when you will run this BiblioShiny, it will go in the URL and you will get the BiblioShiny interface. If you get this interface, write down done. Your interface will change. Done. Now, Preeti ma'am must have sent you the file. Click on this data, load the data, right? And on your right hand side, okay? Import the raw file. This is Scopus, browse, GUI, open, start. Okay, import, sorry, there is some change which is to be done. Import raw file, Web of Science. Wait a minute. Okay, see this. You activate import raw file, Web of Science, browse GUI file, and you will get the complete report card of your data. Got it? Who got this? Please say yes in the chat box. Who got this? Please say yes or no in the chat box. Okay, Raghubir Sahu got it. Come on, who are the others who got it? PSC Vastav got it. Done? Okay.
Yes, sir.
What's the problem? Okay. Now, see the data is now in the Excel format. If you want to filter any data from right-hand side, you can filter it, right? You can save the data in Excel or R data format. Now, gathering the data, click on gathering the data. So you can configure the API. All these things we don't want. Activate the filters from here. So what filters you want? Publication year, you want to keep it as it is. Document type, average citations per year. According to the Bradford's law, you want to do the research on core sources or plus zone 2 sources here. We will keep the settings. Click on overview, main information. It will generate a dashboard. Have you got this dashboard? Say yes or no. Very beautiful dashboard, you will get it. The time span, the bibliometric analysis we are carrying out from 2007 to 2017. Authors, how many authors have been included for this? 987. Sources, 1. Documents, 770. Annual growth rate of this particular theme is 12.4%. Average citations per doc is 16.53. Anybody who's not able to get it, please. All of you have got it? Say yes or no in the chat box. Okay, let's proceed further. Annual scientific production. You will get the curve. What is the annual scientific production in this area? Number of articles published. Average citations per year. So the citations are decreasing. Click on the table. You will be able to get the table. You'll be able to copy this. You can transfer this table in CSV file, Excel file, PDF file, and print it. Done. Okay, let's proceed further. 3 fields plot. Run. You will get this chart very clumsy, but you will have to control it. How I can control it? I'll click on the settings options here, and I'll make the number of items 5 so that I'll be able to understand. So the middle field consists of authors. These are authors. The left field is for references. So here also I'll make it 5. The right field is a keyword. Here also I'll make it say top 5 keywords. After selecting this, again press the play button and the changes will be done. Kindly confirm, are you able to do it? You can even drag any particular field to see its effect. Okay. So how to interpret this? Bondman, the author, is taking the references of, in his paper, he's taking the references of Waltman, Hearst, Ladesworth, and Ege. And normally he writes something related to citations, bibliometric, research evolution, and edge index. See his writing. If I talk about Ladesworth, he's citing Bondman, Waltman, Ladesworth, and his work are more related to citation analysis and edge index. Abramo, De Angelo, right? So this is 3 fields plot. I can change the fields also. For example, again, I can go in options and in the left field, I want to see the sources where this publications are being done, sources. Click on play button and the top 5 sources are generated. If the field is not there, if the data is not there, it will give you an error. This is an error that the data is not there. Let us pick up countries. Okay. So the countries, there are authors, academicians from Italy, they who have written more on this field, Belgium, China, Netherlands, and USA, top 5 countries. This is an overview of the paper protection. Now comes the sources. Most relevant source. Did you got the output? Say yes or no in the chat box. So there are 770 documents which have been generated in Journal of Informatics. It's a core journal, the nucleus. Otherwise, you would have got Bradford's distribution, right? But it is a core journal, 770. Most local cited sources, which is most local cited sources. Here also you will get Scientometrics journal at the top, then Journal of Informatics. How much citations are there, you will be able to get it. There is another data set which Priti ma'am will share with you, and that is a COVID data set. That also we will analyze. The another view. Sir, we have selected 10 most relevant journals, but it's showing only one journal. No, the settings which we had done in the previous one, no, here are not relevant here. If you increase the number of source to make it 15, it will definitely give you 16 top journals. See this, the settings which we are doing, no, they are option specific. Say the setting of this is not applicable in setting of this. So don't get confused. Now comes the Bradford's law. So here the core is Journal of Informatics, core sources are only there. Plus 2 sources, zone 2 and zone 3, nothing is there. Sources, local impact. Sources, production over time. Right, sources, production over time. And how much articles are being published. So this was all journal specific. Now let's do the analysis according to the authors, a very big analysis. Most relevant author who has done a lot of work in this area. You can filter this. If you want, you can filter this. See this, there is a zoom available. There is minus zoom out is available. Zoom. All these facilities are available. Most local cited authors. Authors production over time. So Bondman started writing from 2007. The number of articles are represented by the size of the circle and the color represents their citations, right? The color represents the citation. The size of the circle represents the number of articles, right? Now, before we proceed further, let us try to understand the Lotka's law. Is word file visible? Okay. We will pick up one theme, entrepreneurship development. Okay. How many authors will be there who has written single paper of entrepreneurship development? How many authors will be there? You cannot give the number, but definitely there will be okay. How how many authors will be there who has written single paper on entrepreneurship? There will be many. Now my next question is, how many authors will be there who have written 2 papers on entrepreneurship development? Will it be more than one? These dots will be more than one or less than one? Please say yes. Please give your opinion. Give your opinion. More. How it can be more? Pulkit. What my question is, how many authors are there who have written 2 papers on entrepreneurship? 2 papers. Okay. So this number will be definitely less than the previous one. Okay. How many authors will be there who have written 3 articles? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do you all agree? Do you all agree that the distribution will be like this? Say yes or no. Do you all agree? Right. Now, let me try to explain this, that this is some distribution which has observed. It is a diminishing curve, right? So let's see, is our field also following the same distribution or not? Click on Lotka's law. Is it same? Is it same? Okay. I'll give you a tip. I'll give you a tip to remember it. And the tip is not the exact one, but yes, definitely. The tip to remember is this, is few authors will have done many publications. Many authors have done few publications, right? See, let's try to understand. Few authors have done many publications. Many authors have done few publications. This you'll have to remember. Okay, this is Lotka's law. Now comes the author's local impact. The impact of author in his or her own country. Now the most relevant affiliations. So these authors belong to which university? So we'll get the output according to the university. So Catholic University, 54 articles are from this university. You got this output? Please say yes or no in the chat box. Did you got this output? How to find any benchmark paper on certain topic? Yes, Viri sir, I'll try to explain this, how to find out any benchmark paper on certain topic. When the time will come, I will tell you that this is a benchmark. This is a way you can get the benchmark, right? Affiliations production over time, how institutes are able to produce over the time. So the trajectory will be there of each and every university. Corresponding author's country. Now there are two shades to this. The first one is the red one, most contributing country. Okay. And second contributing country. So what does it mean? That 33 plus 63, this is a total documents which have been published. In 33 documents, the first author, most contributing country, and in 63, the second contributing country. This is the second contributing country. USA, right? In Poland, they normally prefer to remain second contributing. Denmark, second contributing country. India, second contributing country. Country's scientific production. Country's production over time. Most cited countries. Which are the countries which are most cited? Got the output? Kindly confirm. Now comes the documents. Most global cited documents. Vidisha, what you were asking? The landmark. Right? But from here, you will not be able to get the information. So you go in table where the DOI of the paper will be there. See this DOI. Just click it and it will directly take you to the paper where I hope I have answered your query, Vidisha. Hello. Right? It will take you directly there. And you can, if it is possible, you can download the paper. Okay. Let's come back in the software. See, explaining the software is just 5 minutes, but you will have to understand how to write its analysis. So I'm teaching you two things simultaneously, that how the analysis has to be written, right? How you will have to explore the different dimensions of the software. Again, click here. Most local cited document. Still, there is one more area, Vidisha, where we will be able to see the benchmark paper, that who is following whom, where we will be able to see the benchmark paper. Still one more area is there. Most local cited references. Now, this is the area where we'll come to know which is a benchmark paper. References spectroscopy. No, not here, not here. Wait a minute, not here. Let the time come. References spectroscopy. From where the term was coined, where it was a peak in which year, and then the downfall. Most frequent words in your document. Word cloud. You can change the settings from here. Number of words if you want to keep less. Tree map. The frequency of the words which are repeated. Larger the triangle, the area of the area of the rectangle is large. It means that this word is repeated quite number of times. Words frequency over time, which is a word which has gained popularity over the time. Trending topics. Now just click on clustering. This clustering by coupling will not understand from here. We'll understand in the thematic structure. The output is same. This we will understand in thematic structure. It's same. It will give you the same output. There also it will be the centrality and impact. Go in conceptual structure, co-occurrence network. Just see the pattern in writing the papers. So these people are writing, all those who are writing, they are writing on web, distribution, complex network, behavior, model. They are basically related to science. Here, there is another type of network. Here, there is another type of network. If you want to change the network and if you want to see the network according to the author's keywords, activate author's keyword, play. Again, go back. Subject categories. So the data is not there. Titles. Now in this titles, you will get unigram, bigram, and trigram. What this is, let's see. Unigram. Only one word will be generated. One word. Co-occurrence network only on the basis of one word. If I'll make it bigram, this will be generated on the basis of two words. Citation, impact factor, research. And then there is a trigram. Done? Got it, all of you? Author's keywords, which are specified by the author's keywords plus are the frequently occurring word according to the software. Now click on thematic maps. It will generate a map. It will generate a graph-like structure. RStudio is no, ma'am. RStudio is used for many things. RStudio can do the wonders. It is bibliometric is just a simple subset of RStudio. RStudio can do econometric analysis, time series. It can do the paintings, music, everything RStudio can do. The next future is R. Now your graph will be divided into two parts. Sorry, four parts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. The x-axis has been given to centrality. Centrality, right? You will have to remember SPSS or which one is better to go. If you don't want to do the coding, SPSS is better. Now your x-axis is your centrality. Understand this centrality as a visibility, right? And on y-axis, there is an impact. So this is high visibility, low visibility, high impact, low impact. Now just try to understand from an example that in your organization, there will be some people around you who are highly visible or less visible. Less visible. I'm talking about the visibility in terms of their in their personality. when they are communicating with you. So high visibility, low visibility, right? Now there will be some person in your organization who are having high impact and low impact, right? So there can be a people in your organization who are highly visible in the sense their behavior pattern, their communication is so, you can say they are so powerful in their communication that their visibility is, you can notice their visibility. Moreover, whatever which they, whatever communication which is being done by them is having a high impact. You regard, you give us, everybody gives the regards to them, that this person speaks high impact and we should listen to him. So visibility high, impact high. This is the area where visibility is high, but the impact is low. Strong communication skills are there, but whatever the person is communicating, its impact is low. Then there are some people in organization, there are some people who are having low impact and low centrality, low visibility. And here, the visibility is low, but their impact is very high. They speak less, but whenever they speak, their impact is. Similar is the case with the papers also. There are some papers whose centrality is very high and the impact is also very high. So these are the areas where impact and density are very high, right? Now, if you will click on it, you will get the cluster network of it. Just click on it. A cluster network will appear. Click on it. Are you getting it? Cluster network, say yes or no? Hello. Please say yes or no. Are you getting the cluster network? Right. Wherever you will click, it will generate the cluster network. Okay. Now click on thematic evolution. Time slice 1. It will not generate anything unless and until you go in settings. You keep the things as it is and again press the play button, then only it will generate. So we want to see that over the periods, what has happened. This is known as a Sankey diagram. Now the authors which were writing on the distributions in 2007 and 2013, they started diverging and they started writing on British science. See, these are the areas where things started diverging. 2014 and 17. So this was a shift in writing pattern. Those who were writing on algorithms started writing on networks. Networks were definitely, they still continue to write on networks, science, fairness. Now, if you feel that I want to insert one more time period slice here, definitely you can do this. You again go here and increase the number of cut points by 2. So it will ask where you want to keep the cut point. So I'll say 2012 is the first cut point. Let us say 2015 is my second cut point. Okay. Press the play button. Two cut points. Got it? Got it? Now click on the factorial analysis. So this is a first pattern of writing topic dendrogram. So it is not generating words by cluster, articles by cluster. Now click on the intellectual structure. And here is the historiograph. Vidisha, for you, just see. In intellectual structure, see this historiograph. The person, this person, 2017, whatever he has written is followed by Van Ledeshoff. Whatever is written by him is followed by. So on the time scale, it will show you 2010, 11, 13. So Bondman is citing all of them, 2013. So these two are benchmark papers. Link, which link? Which link you want? Dr. Archana Sharma, which link you want, ma'am? Dr. Archana ma'am, which link you want? Hello, which link you want, ma'am? Okay. Now click on. Yeah, you can find out the benchmark paper from both the ways. One is the method of citation, another is a method of time scale. Next comes the co-citation network. Okay. Just click on co-citation network. Really an eye-opener for all of you. How academicians are working all over the world. See this network of academicians. See this and see this. Right? It is necessary that you should have co-author in your papers. Now there are some tips, handy tips, which you will have to remember, that who can be your co-author. You all are aspiring researchers, and therefore you have to take utmost care in choosing the co-author. The first criteria is what I have told you is that the co-author should have more citations. Okay. Second thing is always try to have a co-author from another country. Right. So you will get the network of another country. Third, always try to have a co-author from different disciplines. Okay. More the co-authors, more the network, because each co-author brings his or her network, which other authors are able to leverage. You will have to work in team. You don't work in this team, just see this, just see how it is happening. All these authors are working in a network. They are citing it. Cross citations are being done, and therefore your H index will come up. So you will have to understand this part also. Social structure. Click on the collaboration network. This is the authors' collaborations, right? You can also see how institutions are collaborating with each other. Institutions collaborations. Definitely, institution collaboration here means according to the authors only. Then countries collaboration. Again, an eye-opener for all of us. Please see this. Eye-opener for us. China and USA, co-authors in many, many papers, right? Just try, see this. Slovakia, Poland, and Finland. Only 3 countries network.